So welcome back from our brief 5-minute break. So now we've gone through the process of problem solving. You guys are pros at that now. We're going to move to the next coping skill, which is decision making. Cora's going to tell us a little bit about that.
So decision making is number 4. So when we want to look at decision making, all we need to think about is weighing our options. Positive, negative, good, bad. When we think about weighing those options, we want to look at the same friend that we were just talking about with triggers and barriers. And how, if we want to tell him, look at the pros of telling him and the cons of telling him. And then we're going to flip it and look at the pros of not telling him and the cons of not telling him. Because there's actually 4 options here instead of just the 2. So decision making is just that, weighing our pros and cons, looking at which option is best, and then weighing those. And then we need to consider in making a decision, there's 4 components of a good decision. Is it realistic? Is it fair and balanced? Does it meet the needs of both participants or the people involved? And does it consider the future? And then the 5th coping skill is action. And you'll see us work through this as we do a decision-making grid. And as you can see on the easel chart guides, there's what's called a decision-making grid. And you can look at it like a window pane. There's four little panes of glass looking in and trying to see which one fits best for this particular person. You would do this with one person. You would not lump your whole family or your whole circle of friends into it. It's an individual decision, so it's an individual process. So we're going to do our decision-making grid. And you are going to help fill in the little panes of window, okay? Mm-hmm. Excellent. So Al's going to scribe as we go through. Al, you could put this right here so that maybe they can see it if they need to.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So we're still thinking about the friend. And we're looking at positive outcomes, pros, if we tell this particular friend that we just went through in triggers and barriers. If we tell this friend that we're HIV positive, what are some of the outcomes that are pros?
You could get closer to that person.
Okay.
Bring closer relationship.
Good.
It's trust, you know.
Okay.
Feel like you can trust each other.
Trust.
Builds the trust.
Okay.
And kind of along the same lines, but it expands that support group. That was one of the goals we put on the other.
Mm-hmm. So it actually expands that circle of support that you can go to when you want to talk or if you need something. Support can encompass many things.
Builds confidence in telling other people.
Wonderful.
I actually start to feel self-loved again.
Oh, that's good. Self-love. So those are some great pros to telling. Let's think about some cons, some negatives that could result from telling this friend.
See misconceptions just overall of if he's not educated with what it actually is, you know, he can maybe not want to talk to you anymore.
Okay.
Thinks you're going to give it to him if you hug him or something.
Okay. So I heard a couple of things there. I heard lack of knowledge, that he may have a misconception, and that you may even lose the friendship.
Right.
You might not want to see you again or be friends with you anymore.
Yeah.
Okay. So there's 3. How about one more?
I mean, he might go tell other people that you don't particularly want knowing.
Right.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody can disclose status out of meanness, vengeance, sometimes by mistake even. But yeah, disclosure is a big con that could be a result.
It can hinder reputation.
It can do what, I'm
It
sorry?
can hinder.
It can hinder your reputation, sure. Okay, now let's go down. Let's So you can see we're making a flow. Let's move down to the next box. Pros of not telling. Go ahead, Mike.
Well, we'd said that in this scenario, we're feeling kind of lonely and not in a great. Maybe it gives us a chance to wait until we're in a better state to make that decision.
Okay.
It buys us some time, I guess.
Not telling causes you to become more and more distant from self.
Okay, would that be a pro or a con?
No, that would be a pro. No, that would be no pro.
Okay, so hold on to that. Okay. So, yeah,
Okay,
hold
okay.
on to that. So,
I miss.
that's okay. So we're still on pros of not telling. And we heard, buys you some time. It might give you some time to prepare. It might give you some time to actually be more ready to tell. You might not be 100% ready, or they may not be. So remember, those 4 concepts of a good decision does involve another person. So what's another pro of not telling?
You don't have to worry. You don't have to stress out about it if
Okay.
you're going to tell someone. So
So no worry, no stress.
no worry, no stress.
All right.
You're still in control of your own disclosure, I guess. You have more control over the situation,
All right.
which is always a comforting feeling.
You're still in control. You still own it.
Mm-hmm.
You still have that friendship, because
Ah.
if it goes bad, then you
Sure.
wouldn't. So you haven't
Friendship's
told
still
yet, so
there.
it's still there.
Maintain the relationship that you had or you were working at.
Mhm.
Okay, that's good. Those are all good. So now let's move to the cons. Justin?
It could cause you to grow more and more distance from loving yourself, because you're continually holding on to this, not sharing it.
Okay.
And that secret is making you sicker and sicker and deeper and deeper.
Right.
Right.
And we have talked about what does stress do to the immune system?
Right, breaks it down.
It weakens it even more.
Weakens it even more.
Your immune system's already fighting HIV, so
So
So-
think it internalizes that stress?
well, he said that you hold on to it. You don't have anyone to share with or to talk to.
Right.
So
It causes you to it causes you to not love yourself.
Okay, so I'm going to put down one of the cons is that unable to love self.
Right, not telling.
Difficult to love self.
Right.
Or like loss of self-esteem or something?
There you go.
Loss of
Loss of
self-esteem.
self-esteem.
But I also heard you say that you don't have anyone, you don't reach out, you can't reach out to anyone.
Right. You can't reach out to you don't reach out to no one, and no one is able to reach back to you.
Right.
So if you're not sharing, then you're not allowing someone else to love you in the condition you're in.
Okay.
And you're not even loving yourself because you're not sharing it with somebody that could receive it and give you some love back and some support.
Okay.
So I'm hearing also that in addition to loss of self-esteem, can't reach out to others, that it prevents love from coming to you.
Yeah, there it is.
Is that it?
That's
Does everybody
it.
agree with that?
Yeah. Trying to go deep with this thing. You know?
No love all around.
All around, no love.
Any other cons? Anyone else?
I can't even exactly think how to word it, but it goes back to the trust thing, because as you're building this friendship with this person, if you don't tell them and you allow yourself to then sleep with them, then you're being very dishonest and disloyal.
Okay, but now, Ted, we're still talking about friends and family. People
Oh,
we
just
don't
friends and
sleep
family.
with.
Oh, okay.
This is a non-sleeping.
Oh, okay.
sexual
Gotcha.
friend, okay?
Gotcha.
Yeah, that's we
Okay.
agree. So go back to just thinking about this is a friendship.
Okay. Well, that doesn't
Non-sexual.
apply.
Okay, that's okay.
I have another one.
I think it does.
Oh, okay.
I think it kind of does, just in that he's saying
if you don't have that trust, there's a limit to how far that friendship can go. You're trying to build this new friendship, but you're going to put in a barrier,
Yeah.
and it's not going to go past that. And whether it's a partner or not, there's still a limit that means that friendship is not going to be 100% real
Okay.
if you put that barrier
So
to
just
the
take
friendship.
sex out of the equation and think about it just being a friendship, and
It still is a
Limits
lack
your
of trust.
friendship.
to the other
exactly,
person.
because it's not going to be able to move forward.
So it's a barrier to the friendship developing further. Is that okay?
Right.
That's good.
This is a con of
Yes.
not telling.
Correct.
It can build up anger with those around you,
Okay.
because when you don't tell them and they find out, they be like, well, why didn't you say something?
Yeah.
We could have helped you. We could have did this. We could have did that. So it could easily build up a lot of animosity or anger
If they
toward-
find out later.
if they find out later toward those family members.
Okay. So this friend may become very upset,
Very upset. Yeah.
Angry.
Angry.
felt like you didn't trust him enough to
right.
tell him.
Or it could even be something of like, well, what if you cut yourself at my house? You know, there could still be anger there
Right.
about
Yeah.
that. Of like, you
Right.
put me in danger, you know.
And that kind of goes back to what Alex said about that misconception and not having a good foundation, that knowledge of how and what HIV is. So,
Yeah.
Okay. So we've got some really good responses. And our boxes are filled up nicely. So with the decision making, after you do your decision making grid and you have your 4 boxes filled with your pros and cons, you look at the 4 components. Is it realistic? Does it meet the needs of both parties or all concerned? Is it fair and balanced? And does it consider the future?
So what do you mean by fair and balanced?
Well, let's look at the words, fair and balanced. Fair meaning, is it fair for this person? Am I doing something fair for him to know? And is it also fair to myself? Is it balanced? Is it going to take into consideration, and that's the next one, does it consider both participants and their well-being as well as where they are in the world right now or in their life, and is it balanced for me? Seeing how this is 2 people, when you disclose HIV, it's not just about you anymore. You're actually involving another person. You want to make sure that this person is in a place that they're going to be able to receive the news and handle it. So we want to make sure, is it fair and balanced to this person that we're going to disclose our status to them? To disclose is an individual, personal decision. And sometimes things come up out of our control, and we need to have that backup plan of not to tell. And that's okay. So don't beat yourself up. Have that in the back of your mind to know, I can't always go according to plan, and it's okay, because I can do it later. The opportunity is going to be there at another time. We've weighed the pros and cons, and we filled up the decision-making grid. And then you look and see which one fits you and the person. And then you move to the 5th and final coping skill, which is action. And you act on it, whether it's to tell or not to tell.